This past Sunday at Backlash, the landscape of WWE ECW changed dramatically. Our current ECW World Champion Bobby Lashley had the monumental task of defending his title against Umaga, Shane and Vince McMahon. Despite his best efforts to overcome insurmountable odds, in the end, the boss pinned Bobby to become the 4th champion of the WWE era of ECW, and the 37th in the title's entire history. The Durag Era has officially begun. This should be interesting. Hello, and welcome to the first year of WWE's ECW, the show where we take a look back at the first 52 episodes of WWE's re-envisioning of Extreme Championship Wrestling. We're kicking off the night with the former champ making his way to the ring to address the Birmingham, Alabama crowd. We're told by Taz that as a result of the handicap match this past Sunday, the former champ has suffered some severe damage to his rotator cuff. Lashley gets on the mic and says,
Vince McMahon finally got his revenge for what I did to him at WrestleMania 23. Vince is now the ECW World Champion. Outside of the McMahon family, I don't think there's a person around here that's happy about that. The ECW fans aren't happy, the ECW originals aren't happy, and I damn sure ain't happy. But I have a way of making this all better. I will give Mr. McMahon the beating of a lifetime. So Vince, I don't care if I have an injured shoulder. I want a rematch right here and right now.
Lashley is then interrupted by Armando Estrada, who wheels himself out of the curtain. Estrada gets on the mic and says,
"Who the hell do you think you are to come out here and demand anything? I'm not going to let you ruin this special night. It's because of you Mr. McMahon got his head shaved bald. It's because of you that I'm in this wheelchair right now. Before Vince McMahon gets here tonight, he told me to deliver a special message for you. Lashley, you will get your title rematch, but it's not going to be here tonight. However, I've been authorised to let you know that unless you are physically provoked, you cannot touch the following people: the Samoan bulldozer Umaga, Shane McMahon, and the new ECW champion Mr. McMahon."
Lashley then proceeds to have a wrestling match with words, or maybe he's just doing his best impression of Matt Morgan. Who knows?
What?
The former champ asks Estrada to repeat the names of the people who he can't touch. When all of the names are repeated, Lashley's face lights up and Estrada realises he's in trouble now. Lashley then wheels Estrada into the steel steps. Is that it? Damn, I thought there was going to be more ass kicking than that coming Estrada's way. We're informed by Joey Styles that later on this evening, the ECW originals are going to confront Mr. McMahon in the middle of the ring. I'm loving that render of Vince. Backstage, Elijah Burke tells his fellow New Breed teammates,
Last week, CM Punk set us all up. He didn't just set me up, he set up the New Breed. He never meant to motivate any of you guys. Punk never meant to apologise for anything that he did, and I deserve an apology. CM Punk turned his back on us, the New Breed. So tonight, you follow my lead.
Straight Edge Phil makes his way to the ring for some singles action next against one of his former stablemates from the New Breed. Who will it be? Last week, Punk put an end to his very short-lived time in the New Breed when he booted Elijah Burke in the back of the head during a tag team match against the Originals, and later delivered a GTS to solidify the fact that he was no longer a member of the group, if he ever really was at all. Before the match, Burke gets on the mic and says,
CM Punk, this thing has been building for weeks now. You used me, and you used my New Breed for your own personal goals. So tonight, right now, you're gonna fight.
Burke appears to be getting ready to make his way to the ring and fight Punk. He removes his jacket, but at the last minute says,
You're gonna fight Thorn.
This was a surprisingly quick match between Punk and Thorn, which lasted just under 2 minutes. Although it was a fast bout, it certainly wasn't a squash for Thorn, who got in some decent offense and looked good in this match. Phil just manages to hit the GTS out of nowhere to get a very quick victory. Surprisingly, there is no post-match attack from the rest of the New Breed. Throughout the night, we are shown exclusive WWE.com footage of the ECW originals reacting to Vince McMahon's title win at Backlash. Sandman, RVD and Dreamer all cut impassioned promos, with Dreamer sounding like he's about to burst into tears. He met his wife in ECW, goddammit.
I met my wife because of ECW.
All while Sabu throws a tantrum and smashes the gaff up. I love the energy from all of the originals in these promos, and they really sold this as the ultimate insult to all that ECW stands for. But let's be honest, the original ECW died a long time ago, and WWE's version of it hasn't exactly paid homage to the greats that built that name. Snitsky has been squashing Balls Mahoney over the past 5 episodes, and 3 of the 4 brands champions have been Big Show, Bobby Lashley and Vince McMahon. Before we get to the next segment, it's time to stop in with our resident spicy dance trio, Kelly, Brooke and Layla, aka Extreme Expose. After a couple of weeks off, the girls are finally back, for those few that care. And thankfully they're not being stalked by Snitsky, which I'm sure is nice for them. The girls dance to some awful royalty-free sounding 80s hair metal / glam rock track that I suppose is trying to imitate songs like Warrant's Cherry Pie. For the record, it sounds nothing like that, but I think that's supposed to be the theme they're going for here, as at one point the girls spray each other with whipped cream. This really is Vince's wet dream, isn't it? The man probably had a stiffy whilst he was putting pen to paper for this segment. Backstage, a pissed off Fawn asks the rest of the new breed,
"Where were you guys out there?"
Burke replies,
What do you mean, where were we at? We were out there watching you get beat by CM Punk. Any one of us in the new breed could have beat CM Punk. Corvon, Striker, we know I can. Hell, Ariel could have beat Punk.
Fawn screams at Burke to shut up. He then adds,
"Understand me now. As far as you and the new breed are concerned, I quit."
More new breed action next as Matt Striker and Marcus Corvon take on future edgeheads Brian and Brett Major, the Major Brothers, aka Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, aka Matt Cardona and Brian Myers. This is a shock victory for the Major Brothers when one of them late into the match hits a crossbody from the middle rope on Striker and pins him to get the free. After the match, Burke berates Striker for losing the match. Striker walks away with his head down back to the locker room. Could we be witnessing the end of the new breed? The new ECW World Champion Durag Vince struts his way down to the ring. Vince gets on the mic and says,
I've not done too many things in my life that I've regretted, but I think I'm about to do something that I might regret. For the first time in my life, I'm going to expose myself.
Are you sure about that?
So excuse me while I whip this out.
Vince then unbuttons his suit jacket and shows off the ECW World Championship. Vince continues,
Bobby Lashley is not the only one who's not too happy about me being ECW champion. The so-called originals have had some derogatory things to say about me as champion. You know, it's easy to say something behind somebody's back. It's a little more difficult man to man. Let's see whether or not the originals have the gumption to come out here and look me, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, right in the kisser and say what they truly feel.
The originals then make their way down to the ring to confront Mr. McMahon. Vince and the originals have a back and forth. The originals give Vince a piece of their mind on him being the brand's world champion. Vince then tells the originals that they will all face off in a four-way dance to determine which one of them will face him for the title next week, one-on-one. Vince then adds,
Let me just say one other thing, and that is, in my own vision, in my own image, this will be an ECW Extreme Rules match.
It's main event time, folks, as Sandman, Tommy Dreamer, RVD and Sabu face off in a four-way dance to determine McMahon's opponent for next week's ECW title match. This match started off as a chaotic, scrappy mess, but in the end, it ended up being an absolute banger. They had some amazing spots in it, as you would expect from this lot. And although it started off a bit crap, as stated, I am going to give this match a 5-star rating, making it the third match from the whole series to be entered into the Gadget Hall of Fame. This four-way dance joins the likes of Hardcore Holly vs RVD and the originals versus the new breed. This was all fit into the last remaining 10 minutes of TV time, minus a couple of minutes for the winner to celebrate, of course. So kudos to the boys for doing an amazing job and putting their bodies on the line with just 8 minutes of TV time remaining. In the end, RVD picks up the win after an awesome table spot from Dreamer, Sandman and Sabu. Now that's what you call a table spot, mate. RVD then hits a 5-star frog splash on Sandman, picks up the win and will be facing Mr. McMahon next week for the ECW World Championship. Damn, that felt like a long one today, boys. So I'll keep this outro short and sweet. That was a really enjoyable episode of ECW to kick off the Vince Durag era, and the main event was unbelievably good. Things feel like they're finally moving forward after what felt like a lifetime of the originals and the new breed battling it out week in, week out. The only negative from this episode for me was Extreme Expose. But even then, it wasn't that bad. The girls were on screen for probably less than 3 minutes. I'll give them a pass this week, plus they've been off TV for 2 weeks. I'm going to give episode 46 4 out of 5 stars. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.